to pay off his debt's grandfather actually sent me off on the day I returned to the country to marry my arch rival. Finding out the truth, I rushed right to the living room, shouting at him, "Forget about you stealing someone's fiancé when you were young, but now that they've come to settle the score, you actually thought of pushing me out to take the blame. Where was this energy before? Let me tell you, there's no way I'm getting married. I have an older sister and an older brother, so why should I pay off your debt of passion? Does your conscience not hurt?" Old man Shane's eyes darted around as he weakly defended himself. "Your brother hated my strict rules, so he ran abroad long ago to live his own life. Your sister is a woman, so for this marriage, aren't you the only one left?" Hearing this, I looked at him in shock and yelled, "Just because no one else is around, it's my turn, right? Am I even your biological grandson?" "Old man, what do you mean by this? Insisting on forcing me into this marriage? Is there something fishy going on here?" I stared at him warily. Right then, Old Man Shun waved his hands frantically, explaining, "How could that be, Ah-Chen? You are my actual grandson. Could your grandfather really set you up? I definitely wouldn't force you to marry just any random woman. You're marrying Paylin of the Pei family." I doubted whether something was wrong with my ears. Who Paylin? That name was like a bolt from the blue, instantly leaving me completely dumbfounded. Paylin is the helmsman of the Pei group. The outside world rumors that her methods are ruthless, holding up half the sky in City H, and she's the eldest Miss Pei whom countless people look up to. But what flashed across my mind was a she-devil staring at me with a creepy grin. I waved my hands frantically. "No way, no way! Paylin is a notoriously vicious she-devil. You're sending me there as a sacrifice. I don't care. I won't get married. If you like Paylin that much, marry her yourself." Seeing that I refused to comply even to the death, Old Man Shun immediately pulled out his trump card, Ah-Chen. "Listen to grandfather. As long as you marry Paylin, grandfather will help you finish that matter." I instantly forgot about the shock of being scammed by my granddad and curiously asked, "What matter?" Old Man Shun just smiled mysteriously without saying a word. Meanwhile, at this moment on the sofa of the Pei family mansion, there sat a woman with a graceful figure. Her tone carried a cold distance. "Grandfather, you specially called me back. Is there something going on?" The old man stared at his granddaughter, slowly opening his mouth. "I have arranged a marriage for you." As soon as these words came out, the woman stood up and intended to walk out, her chilling voice echoing in the empty hall, "Meddling in things that aren't your business. Paylin, do you plan to wait until you're 72 to get married?" Ignoring Old Man Pei's shouting, she replied coldly, "My marriage is still not your turn to decide." But after taking just 2 steps, a voice sounded from behind. "The one arranged for you is the grandson of the Shen family." Paylin paused in her tracks, her heart turning even more serious. Could it be him seeing her reaction? Old Man Pei chuckled, then sipped his tea and added unhurriedly, "That's right. The person you've been looking for so long is still alive. Linlin, as long as you get married, I will give you the files, how about it?" Paylin replied, without the slightest hesitation, "Fine." And so time flashed forward to July 20th. At the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau, I was dragged out of the car by my parents, standing to the side with an easygoing look. When my mom saw this pathetic state of mind, wishing I could do better, she gave me a jab. I let out a groan from being poked. After a short while, Old Man Pei arrived as well. Getting out of the car and seeing me, he cheerfully called out to Paylin, "Linlin, come quickly and look at your fiancé. Look at how handsome my Ah-Chen has grown, how much he matches you." Hearing this, Paylin slightly knit her elegant brows. On my side, I looked up at that unfamiliar yet exquisite face across from me. Putting everything else aside, Paylin is truly beautiful. But I know some people are like mandrakes. The more beautiful, the more deadly. Seeing me, a hint of surprise also flashed in Paylin's eyes. She had thought she was marrying the eldest young master of the Shen family, Shen Jun. So who could have guessed it would be Shen Chen? This is really unexpected. And seeing Paylin's expressionless face on my end, I thought happily, this is great. Turns out you're not satisfied with this marriage either. Paylin, hurry up and bring it up, say it. That way we'll both be free. Thinking that I was about to get my freedom, I was practically bursting with joy. So I stood up, intending to make a run for it. But just as I was about to bolt, the back of my collar was grabbed in a tight grip by my dad, and then I was pressed back down onto the chair. 10 minutes later, the former archenemies were at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau, facing 2 little red books, turning swords into plowshares. There was both handshaking and hugging, and only Paylin kept her elegant brows slightly knit the entire time. No way, right? Doesn't Old Man Shun dote on Ah-Chen the most? To actually be willing to let Ah-Chen marry me, he really went all out. As for me, I squatted on the spot holding my head, thinking in deep agony, no way! Didn't Paylin look down on me? According to her personality, she should have turned around and left. So how did she end up being so obedient and just getting the certificate? It's over, my free life is completely gone. After being busy for most of the day, I got back home in the evening, just as I was about to comfortably lie on the bed to catch up on sleep. Wait, I heard yet another piece of bad news. I actually have to move out. Right after that, before I could even process it, I watched with my own eyes as my luggage was loaded truck after truck and hauled right into Paylin's territory. I kept protesting to the old man, take less, I'm still coming back. It's not like I'm never coming back. In the end, grandfather just patted my shoulder, and with a big wave of his hand, didn't even leave my slippers behind. An hour later, sure enough, I was already at Payleen's private estate, QU Terraces. Looking at Payleen, I greeted her with some awkwardness. Hi. Hello there, my name is Shen Chen. Payleen looked at me and let out a soft sigh. Then she nodded, signaling that she had heard what I said, and said to me in a cold tone, hello, Shen Chen. Let me first tell you my rules. Except for the third floor, which you are not allowed to go up to. You can pick any of the remaining rooms. Hearing this, I immediately ran off to choose a bedroom. But after wandering through several rooms, none of them felt right to me. So frowning, I stood on the second floor and complained loudly to Payleen downstairs. Hey, Payleen, this place of yours is way too shabby, right? How is there not even a decent gaming room? How am I supposed to live here? Hearing these words of mine, Payleen took a deep breath and said distantly, stay if you can stay, and if you don't want to stay, leave right now. I hate picky men the most. After saying that, regardless of my reaction, she went upstairs without even turning her head. I instantly flared up with rage and immediately dialed the number back home, intending to complain to grandfather, but in the end I found out that unexpectedly not a single person would pick up my call. Fine, very well. I think I finally see the light now. This is a total trap. Isn't it just not having a gaming room? I'll stay then. I really don't believe Payleen can actually kick me out. Thinking this to myself with gritted teeth, I dragged my suitcase with brute force, venting in my anger, and then picked a room with decent lighting to move into. Upstairs, hearing that I had finally quieted down, Payleen gave a soft chuckle and turned back into her own bedroom. Early the next morning, a loud growl from my stomach woke me up right out of a beautiful dream from sheer hunger. I looked around, and the empty house was dead silent, making me a bit uncomfortable. I dazed out for a long time before remembering that this wasn't my house, but QU Terraces, the territory of that big she-devil Pay. Thinking of this, I lay back down, unwilling to accept this reality, until I felt so hungry and dizzy that I finally went downstairs. I figured she would probably leave some food for me, since Payleen has to eat too, right? She couldn't possibly be that inhumane. But when I got downstairs, the smile vanished from my face, and I froze right on the spot. There was nothing at all in the kitchen. So clean it looked as if no one had ever used it, without a single trace of life. Refusing to believe it, I wandered around the entire QU Terraces for half an hour, but didn't see a single soul. I couldn't help but break down a bit, shouting, is anyone even here? Is there anyone to come help me? I really want to eat. Meanwhile, inside the Pay family's headquarters, Payleen tossed a piece of classified data that had just arrived over to her assistant. Go and verify the authenticity of this information. The assistant glanced at the content and understood immediately. Just as he turned around to do it, he ran straight into Father Pay, who happened to come looking for the CEO. Father Pay got straight to the point and asked, Lin, last night was your first night as newlyweds. How did you get along with Ah Chen? The assistant, who had no idea the CEO was married, stumbled over the steps and made a huge noise, causing the staff in the secretarial department to look up and stare at him one after another. As for him, he turned back to look at his boss in absolute shock. Payleen glanced at her usually composed assistant. The assistant quickly composed himself and left while trying to act calm. Payleen looked at her father. What is it that you want to know? At 8 p.m., Payleen finished her day's work, and she stood up, intending to go home. Suddenly remembering there was now an extra person at home, she didn't want to go back and face him, so she sat in her chair, intending to stay at the office. Just then, the assistant, who didn't dare ask too much, knocked and entered CEO. The old master called to urge you to off work and go home. What needs to be faced must still be faced. She couldn't just never go home. Inside QU Terraces, watching the sunset glow outside the window, I stood up and curiously walked over to the window to admire it. I have to admit, Payleen's taste is absolute perfection. QU Terraces watches the sunrise red in the east and enjoys the sunset filling the sky in the west. Sigh, but no matter how good it looks, it's not edible. My stomach is already growling, and still no one has come back. When is dinner going to be served? Thinking this, I directly lay down on the floor. Payleen stood at the doorway, looking at me lying there on the floor. With hands folded, it seemed like they had fallen asleep at a glance. Payleen was puzzled, but she still calmly walked over and looked down at me. What are you doing? I popped my eyes open all of a sudden. I'm thinking about which posture is the most handsome to starve to death in. Entering the living room, I kept chasing behind her and complaining nonstop. Forget that this crappy place of yours doesn't even have a maid. But when I try to order takeout, the drivers reject it, saying this is the suburbs and they don't deliver. Payleen, what good does starving me to death do you? At least I'm your husband. Do you really want to become a widow? Even so, you shouldn't screw me over like this. Payleen stopped in her tracks, turned around and looked at my handsome face. There are so many vegetables in the fridge. If you're hungry, can't you just cook for yourself? I shook my head, acting completely entitled. I don't know how. Can't you look up the cooking steps on your phone either? Speaking of this made me even more furious. Forgetting the fact that I was facing a vicious she-devil, I grabbed her arm and dragged her to the kitchen. Come on, you tell me how to turn on your stove. I looked at this room full of high-tech gadgets and was completely clueless. Paylin glanced at me, too lazy to pay me any mind, and opened the refrigerator directly. 10 minutes later, a steaming bowl of noodles was placed in front of me. Wow, thank you for saving my life. Thank you, female warrior, for the kindness of this bowl of noodles today. If you ever need this humble one in the future, just say the word, and I'll absolutely look the other way. Paylin looked at me, who was clearly starving to death, but still had the energy to spout a mountain of nonsense. Eat quietly. I was truly starving. I finished the bowl of noodles in less than 5 minutes, and holding the bowl with both hands, I drank all the soup base too, putting down the empty bowl. I wiped my mouth with the back of my hand, leaving Paylin with a face full of disgust. I looked at the woman. I want to get a nanny. Impossible. Then what if I starve to death? Learn to cook. I can't learn. Then you won't starve to death. I pretended to intimidate Paylin, but the woman just glanced at me, staring back at my completely unthreatening look. Are you full or not? Paylin paused for a few seconds, originally planning to stand up and cook more noodles, but seeing the look in my eyes that wanted to go against her, the words that came out of her mouth changed to, if not, then stay hungry. I completely lost my temper. Paylin, what kind of female CEO are you? Being so petty. Paylin suddenly thought of the pressure from her family and said to me, let's talk. What do you think about this marriage? My anger suddenly vanished. What marriage? Haven't I already registered the marriage certificate with you? The woman let out a long sigh. No matter what the Shen family thinks, the Shen and Pei families are both prominent clans. We must inevitably prepare a grand wedding. No, wedding or whatever isn't important. There is absolutely no need to host one. Hosting it is just for outsiders to see, while the hard work and exhaustion belong to us. Are you kidding me? Back then, they only said to get the certificate. Nobody told me there would be a wedding. If a wedding is held and the whole city finds out, how am I going to get a divorce and travel the world freely later? I shook my head violently. No way, I'm absolutely not hosting one. Paylin nodded. Very well. On this point, your view aligns with mine. But this man didn't know how to cook, and she couldn't just leave him starving at home all the time. One day on Paylin's way to the office, the assistant really couldn't hold back his inner curiosity and asked, CEO, did you really get married? When picking up the CEO for work this morning, Paylin had stood at the doorway hesitantly, looking back at the house as if she were looking at someone inside. After getting into the car, she even specially ordered lunch to be delivered to the house at noon. Did the CEO really get married? But how could I, her confidant, not know about this at all? Paylin looked down those charming eyes staring at her phone. After a long while, she gave an affirmative hum. Yeah. The assistant's eyes widened in disbelief. CEO, which family's young master did you marry? The Shen family. Aren't the Shen and Pei families arch enemies? The assistant's mind went numb after being hit by his superior's bombshell news. But CEO, does the eldest miss of the Shen family know her younger brother married you? Paylin didn't pay him any attention. At a certain overseas research base, a young woman in a white lab coat stood outside the glass, watching the experiment inside. A few subordinates stood behind her, reporting the progress. Even though a mask covered half her face, it still couldn't hide her cold and elegant temperament. Suddenly her phone rang. Shenwan pulled out her phone, glancing to see that the call was from her family's bitter rival. She picked up, hello? Paylin spoke, I'm married. The eldest Miss Shen teased in her tone, don't do it, sister. If you get married, the old man in my family will start competing again, insisting that I must get married too. The secret rivalry between the elders of the two families wasn't just a matter of a day or two, and the younger generation had all suffered from it. Paylin sat in her chair. Pausing for 2 seconds, I married your little brother. There was a 2-second silence on the other end of the line. What did you say? The eldest Miss Shen was shocked, ripping off her mask and turning to walk out of the research base, calling out as she walked, Paylin, I treat you like a sister, but you are actually eyeing my little brother. My little brother is younger than you. I'm returning to the country right now, so don't you run. Meanwhile, back at QU Terraces, I sat on the bed dazing out. A man cannot just sit around waiting to die. I need to find a way out. And so, after fumbling around QU Terraces all morning, I finally found the main gate. The moment my front foot stepped out, I saw a car pull up right after. The driver even rolled down the window and asked me, hello, is this President Pei's estate? I nodded. Then, after walking on foot for more than an hour, I finally reached a small hole-in-the-wall diner by the roadside and walked straight in to scavenge for food. Inside the living room of QU Terraces, delicious dishes were laid out on the table, yet no one dared to touch them. President Pei had only ordered the food to be delivered, and they didn't have the guts to go upstairs and call President Pei down to eat. So the group just left empty-handed, leaving a whole table of fine food sitting there. Having eaten my fill, I let out a loud burp, hailed a taxi, and headed straight back home. Grandfather, get out here right now. Today, the two of us are severing our grandfather-grandson bond. In the living room, old man Shen was sipping his tea leisurely, when suddenly he heard my voice blasting in before I even appeared. Exchanging a glance with his wife, the two immediately held hands and hid away. Where is everyone? have you all vanished into thin air. Get out here, rushing into the living room and seeing the entire house completely empty. I waited for a moment, but still no one came out. Fine, you guys forced my hand, holding grandfather's favorite Celadon vase in both hands. Just as I raised it high and was about to let it drop, hold on, my dear grandson. Grandfather is here. Easy now. Slowly put the Celadon vase back on the shelf over there. Let's talk things out nicely. Old man Shun kept his eyes glued to his vase. My dear grandson, why are you back? I tucked the Celadon vase directly under my armpit. If I hadn't come back, I would have starved to death. Inside the pig group, that man should have already started eating by now, right? His silly personality isn't like his brother's at all. His brother Shen Junshu has a steady character, like a cold blade, taciturn and frosty. She thought biological brothers would share some similarities, but they turned out to be two extremes. She had thought that by marrying Shen Chun, it would save her a lot of worry after dealing with the family. But as a result, he was so noisy that she wanted to take tape and seal his mouth shut. Seeing Palin's troubled face, the assistant asked, CEO, are you worrying about the new project? Then Palin lowered her hand and said slowly, allocate the funds. Run the bidding as needed, and do the audits properly. I want to see results in half a year. In the afternoon, Palin finished her work and went home early. Pushing open the door, she looked at the dishes on the dining table, which had already gone cold and hadn't been touched at all. She frowned, calling out my full name for the very first time. Shen, where are you? Are you still sleeping? Seeing there was no response, a faint trace of anxiety rose in the woman's heart. Shoot, did something really happen to him from starving? Palin walked upstairs quickly, hurriedly pushing open my bedroom door, only to see a messy room, but there was absolutely no sign of me. Just as I finished taking a shower, my phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. Hello, who is this? The woman said coldly, where are you? I looked at my phone uncertainly. Are you Palin? At 8 p.m., Palin showed up at my parents' house. I was wearing my pajamas, with my hair not even blown dry. Looking at Palin as I grumbled, why did you suddenly come here? If there's an issue talk at Chuyu Terraces, over there I might play the coward. But now that I was here, I definitely had to straighten my spine. Beside me, my mother yanked my hand. Ah Chen, how can you talk to Lin Lin like that? Didn't Lin Lin come here just to pick you up? I curled my lips. What's the point of picking me up? I don't want to starve to death. With blushing cheeks, Palin lowered her head. I'm sorry. Yesterday was indeed an oversight on my part. Grandfather Shen also started to persuade me at this moment. Don't all couples go from being unfamiliar, slowly breaking in, to getting used to living together? When I first married your grandmother, the two of us weren't used to it either. Marriage takes time to break in slowly. I completely exposed him. Cut it out, grandfather. Back then, you stole Grandfather Pei's fiancée. What wasn't there for you two to be used to? You two dated for 3 entire years before getting married, and you have the nerve to use yourselves as an example here. Right in front of her face too. You two even pushed your favorite grandson out to pay off your debt. The entire living room instantly fell into silence. Palin raised her eyes to glance at me, and I was yanked by my mom again before finally shutting my mouth. While Palin was downstairs chatting with grandfather and my mother, I was dragged upstairs by my father for a lecture. I hadn't planned on leaving with Palin, but old man Shun came over again, whispering secrets in my ear for another half an hour. You said it yourself? I'm getting a divorce in 3 years. If you dare refuse to let me leave, I'll expose your secret slush fund to grandmother. Fine, but grandson, you can't go to the Pei family for nothing. Help grandfather vent some anger. I looked at grandfather suspiciously. What anger do you have? If anyone's angry, it should be Grandfather Pei. Grandfather Shen looked back with a firm gaze. If you help grandfather vent this anger, I'll let you get a divorce in just 2 years. Deal. In the dead of night, watched by my entire family once again, I was sent off into Palin's car. Halfway there, I saw a convenience store by the roadside and wanted to go in to buy snacks and instant noodles. Palin, I didn't eat dinner. I was actually counting on having a midnight snack at home, but then I was dragged away by you. Palin acted as if she hadn't heard a thing, stepping on the gas pedal all the way back to Kyoyu Terraces. Seeing this, I was too lazy to waste my energy being mad at her. After arriving, I got out of the car and walked straight into the house. Pushing open the door, I looked at the table full of dishes in the living room. So it turns out, I had misunderstood Palin's intention to starve me during the day. I stole a glance at her and said quickly in a low voice, I'm sorry. Palin didn't expect me to suddenly apologize, and her tone softened quite a bit compared to before. Come here, I'll teach you how to turn on the stove. A gentleman stays away from the kitchen. A man going into the kitchen will be looked down upon. Didn't you know that this man has broken into my territory, and I still have no way to kick him out yet? Right now, I still can't completely fall out with the old man at home. The woman let out a sigh. With me around, you'll be able to hold your head high for the rest of your life. Let me teach you. If I say I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it. I shook my head. Palin, if you've got the guts, why don't you hit me? By this time, I was already sitting in the dining room, looking at the lunch dishes on the table and eating away. Palin, don't think I don't know you wanted to marry my brother. I am my brother's favorite little brother after all. You'd better treat me a bit better. If you starve me, I'll go tell my brother that you starved me to death." With a loud thud, it sounded like something had dropped to the ground. I instantly went dead silent. Originally, I chose QU Terraces just because I wanted a piece of pure land to give myself a peaceful atmosphere to rest. Now it's so noisy. I only hope that once Shen Junshu comes, he'll take his brother away as fast as possible. Seeing that I had finally quieted down, Pei-Lin continued with the cooking, looking at the woman's elegant and glamorous silhouette from behind. Even the high and mighty President Pei was cooking for me now. I had to say a few nice things to praise her, and so my chatterboxes opened up again. As the old saying goes, if a woman knows how to cook, she cuts her love rivals in half. Lin, don't you worry. In the future, if you want to be my sister-in-law, just based on your feeding kindness to me tonight, I will absolutely help you out. Pei-Lin stopped the movements in her hands. I went quiet once again. Pei-Lin turned around and looked up at me. "Who told you that I wanted to marry your brother?" I immediately covered my mouth. "Don't worry, Pei-Lin. I will never say a single word to anyone else about this." I swear. Pei-Lin turned around helplessly to continue cooking. When the food was ready and placed on the dining table, she watched as I took huge bites despite the heat, only then realizing that I was truly starving to death. "This is delicious, Pei-Lin. Were you a chef in your past life?" "It's too good." Pei-Lin watched as I ate without any manners, and her red lips couldn't help but curve slightly. "Go to sleep early after eating. Tomorrow come back to the Pei house with me." I bit off my noodles. Looking at Pei-Lin, a sneaky little thought started brewing in my mind. The next day, I followed Pei-Lin and appeared at the West Bank Pei family mansion. This was my first time visiting the Pei family. The ghost stories I used to hear from grandfather all had the Pei family mansion as the background, because they were bitter rivals. Neither side would miss any opportunity to smear the other. Every time before the story could be finished, grandfather would be slapped down by grandmother. "You still dare to scare Ah Chen hurry up and coax our grandson to sleep?" Old man Shun then wouldn't dare to speak anymore. But it honestly left a heavy shadow deep in my heart. As soon as I entered the Pei house, a wave of chilliness hit me. I muttered in my mind, as expected, grandfather didn't lie to me. It really is quite cold. Pei-Lin watched as I fell into my own world again and smiled gently. Then she pretended to be cold again and said, "What are you doing? Hurry up and keep up." I let out an "oh" and quickly followed her inside. Entering the living room of the Pei family, Old Man Pei was the happiest. "Ah Chen is here. Come here, come here." He warmly waved me over to sit down. This time, I had truly entered the arch-rival's den. Haha, I've met Old Man Pei before. Back when he and grandfather used to bicker, the two old men fought exactly like little kids. There was also a beautiful lady sitting next to me. I figured she must be Pei-Lin's mother. Old Man Pei asked intimately, "Ah Chen, how have you and Pei-Lin been getting along these past 2 days?" Coming back to my senses, I blurted, "Oh, it's been okay, I guess. Just starving 9 times in 3 days. Having one meal without knowing where the next is coming from." Pei-Lin instantly shot a glare at me, and I turned back to smugly wiggle my eyebrows at her. Glancing at the gaze of the whole family fixed on her, Grandmother Pei spoke up, "Since she's busy with work and can't take proper care of you, then let Pei-Lin move back here to live with Ah Chen." I watched Pei-Lin, the corners of my lips curving up. "You wouldn't let me hire a nanny, so now I'm trolling you by getting you forced back to your parents' place." Pei-Lin glanced at my foolish self. "Then please prepare the room for us. We will stay over tonight." I instantly froze up. "You wouldn't let me hire a nanny, so now I'm trolling you by getting you forced back to your parents' place." Pei-Lin glanced at my foolish self. "Then please prepare the room for us. We will stay over tonight." I instantly froze up. I only complained just to make things difficult for Pei-Lin, but I never expected it would backfire and hurt myself too. It's over, I played myself. Late at night, Pei-Lin sat on the sofa in her bedroom. Gosh, why did I agree to stay over? I'm regretting this to death. Sitting at the foot of the bed, I looked at Pei-Lin across from me. "What are you staring at your phone for so late at night? Do you plan to stay there the whole night?" Pei-Lin lightly raised her eyes and glanced at me. I immediately turned my face away, avoiding eye contact with her. "Staying here overnight means you won't have to starve anymore." Feeling guilty, I didn't dare to speak. After a few minutes of silence in the room, I suddenly hit upon another idea. "Hey, Pei-Lin, let's escape. I know how to climb walls. If you don't know how, I can teach you. Let's sneak out tonight and sneak back tomorrow morning. How about it?" Man, this brain of mine is just way too genius. After we escape, he can go his way, and I'll run mine. Wouldn't it be fine if we just meet up right on time at the gate tomorrow morning? Pei-Lin glanced at me. After all, he is her best friend's little brother, so she thought she should be a bit gentler with him. "You go ahead, I'll wait for you here." I looked at the woman in surprise. "You're not coming with me." "I don't know the way." The Pei family mansion is so massive that without a guide, one would definitely get lost very quickly. Otherwise, I wouldn't have dragged Pei-Lin to join me. I'm not that loyal. Bringing my newlywed wife along on a getaway was purely because she had utility. Pei-Lin seemed to see right through my thoughts. Taking a deep breath, she continued to endure it. "This is my friend's brother. This is my friend's brother. This is my friend's brother." Knock, knock, knock. A sudden knock on the door sounded. "Eldest miss, the master wants to talk with you." Paylin glanced at my curious face and asked, "Are you coming?" I immediately stood up. "Can I?" The next second, Paylin sneered, "You can't." Watching my face instantly collapse, Paylin walked out of the bedroom in a pleasant mood. Seeing the smile on the eldest Miss's face, the butler pondered in his heart. It seems the progress between the eldest Miss and the young master-in-law is going quite well. Entering Elder Pei's study, Paylin's face returned to its usual coldness. "Why did you look for me? Did you deliberately mistreat Ah Chen?" Elder Pei thought his granddaughter was dissatisfied with the marriage and was using this to torture me. "That's right. Since you forced me to marry him, you have to be prepared for him to be dealt with by me. I will not hire anyone to specially serve him at QU Terraces. If he's hungry, let him starve. Once you guys can't stand it anymore, you will naturally let him leave. Stop messing around, Paylin. Ah Chen is your husband." Paylin stared back at her grandfather, not fearing his anger in the slightest. "You guys were the ones who insisted on making me marry him." She turned around to leave. "Hold on." Elder Pei called his granddaughter to a stop once again. After a 10-minute conversation, Paylin got what she wanted, and even secured a promise from her grandfather. 2 years' time, if you and Ah Chen still fail to develop feelings for each other, you two can divorce. But during these 2 years, you must come home. You cannot stay overnight elsewhere, nor can you be in a relationship with others, bringing shame upon our two families. Paylin turned back to look at her grandfather, her lips curling in disdain. "Give me the remaining half of the files as soon as possible." The woman returned to her bedroom door. Pushing open the door, the room was completely empty. Where was Shen Chun? Did he really go climb the wall to escape? Half an hour later, I came back dejectedly. Paylin seemed to have long expected this. She was relaxing on the sofa, flipping through the files in her hands. Didn't succeed in climbing over. I sat at the foot of the bed listlessly, looking at Paylin as I said in frustration, "Does your family have some hidden treasure? Why are there guards patrolling 24 hours a day? And besides, patrols are one thing, but the wall is also wrapped in an electric fence. Is that to keep out thieves or to keep out me?" Paylin closed the files and said calmly, "Both." She stood up and looked at me covered in dust. "Seems this guy really did run off to figure out an escape just now. Rest early. I'm going to the study." In the study, Paylin looked at the investigation in the files. Her brows knit tightly. Where on earth did Shen Junshu go? Is he dead or alive? One day I woke up and looked at the side of the bed, finding no trace of anyone having slept there. Only then did my mind ease up. But thinking about it, it makes sense. Paylin likes someone else. So how could she come back in the middle of the night to find me? Stepping out of the bedroom door, I saw Old Lady Pei watering the flowers in the morning. I walked over. "Grandmother, let me help you water the flowers." Old Lady Pei saw her grandson-in-law awake, and the smile on her face deepened. She handed the watering can to me. I went at it like splashing water, pouring an entire pot of water right down. "Ah Chen, don't. That was brought back from Africa by your grandfather." "Grandmother, what's wrong? What did you say?" I had already poured all the water inside. Elder Pei absolutely loved his African milk tree. He took meticulous care of it the entire time, terrified of any mishap. Grandmother Pei let out a helpless smile. "Ah Chen, this is your grandfather's favorite African milk tree. This kind of drought-tolerant green plant can't take much water. Just a tiny bit is enough." But half a pot of water was definitely way too much. Learning that I had ruined Grandfather Pei's green plant, I felt overwhelmingly guilty. I actively ran over to find Grandfather Pei to apologize and admit my mistake. Hearing this, Elder Pei asked in pleasant surprise, "It's ruined. What happened, though?" Grandfather didn't seem to have the slightest bit of sadness or grief, but instead showed a hint of anticipation. I nodded full of self-reproach. "I'm sorry, Grandfather Pei. I didn't mean to." Seeing me so full of blame, the entire family instantly stepped up and all started to comfort me. "It's fine, that plant was just for looking at anyway. Since it's ruined by watering, let's look at your grandmother's flowers." "Yeah, Ah Chen. You can water your grandmother's flowers instead." With the family being so forgiving toward me, I felt even more apologetic. As Paylin walked out of her bedroom and down the stairs, she heard that her husband had watered her grandfather's favorite African milk tree to death. Watered to death. A faint smile appeared at the corner of her lips. She continued downstairs. Before even stepping into the living room, she first heard a sudden plot. Grandfather starving 9 times in 3 days, and having one meal without knowing where the next is coming from, that was all made up by me. Paylin didn't intentionally starve me. Ah Chen, don't speak up for her. If she did wrong, she needs to be disciplined. Elder Pei's words had already reached Paylin's ears. The woman halted her steps. This man is speaking up for me. What is he playing at? Grandfather, she really didn't. Paylin didn't know that I can't cook, and besides, she just got married too, so she didn't know either. He didn't know either that there was another mouth at home waiting for her to feed. Last night, when she got home, she even cooked noodles for me. It was super delicious the next day. She even went out of her way to order a lavish lunch for me and had it delivered to the house. At night, she personally cooked nice food for me again. If she really wanted to starve me, I wouldn't even have the strength to talk to you guys right now. Grandfather, what I said yesterday doesn't count. I did all of that on purpose. Eavesdropping behind the scenes, Paylin had a bright smile on her lips. At least he knows how to be reasonable. Elder Pay thought about how he had misunderstood his granddaughter last night. This granddaughter didn't even bother to explain and just admitted it directly. She really is infuriating enough. Seeing Grandfather Pay lost in thought, I paused and said, Grandfather Pay, then can we leave today? Right at this moment, Paylin walked out from the corner and directly announced, we will leave after having breakfast. Old Man Pay asked with a displeased face, where to? Paylin looked at me, to his house. Leaving the Pay house, the car drove straight to my home without any detours. Grandfather, grandmother, dad, mom, I'm back. Old Man Shen had heard that his grandson watered Elder Pay's beloved African milk tree to death. He shouted twice in joy, good job, my dear grandson. My dear grandson. Grandfather knew that by entrusting you with the heavy responsibility of wrecking the Pay family, you definitely wouldn't let Grandfather down. I said with a sorrowful face, but I didn't do it on purpose. It's fine, Grandfather understands you. Paylin looked at the grandfather and grandson, plotting against her grandfather right in front of her face. But she wasn't angry in the slightest. She even looked at the self-reproachful me and offered a suggestion. You can buy a new one to give to him. I instantly had a flash of inspiration. Right? I can compensate Grandfather Pay with a new one. Back at the Pay house, Elder Pay looked at his African milk tree, just waiting for it to wither away completely. I'm not the type of person who grows green plants to cultivate hobbies, because my wife loves flowers and plants, and always nags that I don't have any interest in hobbies. I spent a large sum of money from abroad to import a pot of African milk tree, just to show my stance in front of my wife, that he was now a plant person too. But in fact, I had wanted to stop raising it for a long time. Now my grandson-in-law is finally coming to rescue me. If it's ruined, so be it. What a wonderful thing. In the evening, Elder Pay looked at the apology gift sent over by his grandson-in-law on the table. Brand new African milk tree plant. Elder Pay looked at it and fell silent. I apologized sincerely. Old Lady Pay only felt that this child was too sweet, and Mr. Pay felt that this child was way too sensible. Only Paylin was smiling faintly on the side. Old Lady Pay subtly reminded her husband to hurry up and praise the kids. Old Pay hurry up and accept it. Look, Ah Chen and Lin Lin bought this specially for you. Elder Pay was not happy at all. His piercing eyes stared at his granddaughter. She definitely did it on purpose, humph. And the whole family, only this eldest granddaughter of mine, knows that I don't actually like plants. Back when I bought the African milk tree, it was my granddaughter who gave me the idea. Now she pretends to be nice again, by having Ah Chen buy a new one to compensate me. It must have been her idea again. The corner of Paylin's lips remained slightly raised, looking back at her grandfather without dodging his gaze at all. Meeting his eyes directly, she didn't deny it. Later, Elder Pay accepted the new plant from his grandson-in-law, meaning he had to raise it from scratch again. Yet, after just a few days, the original plant that I had splashed water on was also alive and well, without any issues at all. It was even growing better than before. Only Elder Pay suffered, going from having one plant to take care of to now having to take care of two plants. On this day, Paylin's phone rang. She glanced at the incoming call and answered it the next second. Hello, an anxious male voice came through. Lin Lin, your mother fainted. She's in the infirmary. What happened to my mom? Paylin stood up in shock, grabbing her keys and hurriedly heading out. At Haicheng University, Zhang Yifan was waiting at the gate. Very soon, Paylin's exclusive car pulled up at the school gate. Get in. Zhang Yifan opened the passenger door. After getting into the car, the man opened the window directly. People outside had already noticed this side. The man adjusted his emotions to make himself look more elegant and refined, yet with a deep sense of guilt in that refinement. During the student graduation season, Dean Mo had been busy for a long time. My experiment with Dean Mo was delayed for a long time. Today, all the experiment materials arrived. So Dean Mo and I were going to the lab to prepare for the next step of the experiment. It was originally supposed to be done by me, but Dean Mo told me to go fetch the materials. I didn't know Dean Mo would faint in the lab. Paylin's mother is the dean of a branch college at Haicheng University. Zhang Yifan is a student she supervises. After graduation, he stayed at the university to continue doing experiments with Paylin's mother. When they arrived at the infirmary, there was no one beside Dean Mo, but she was already hooked up to an IV. Lin Lin, why did you come? Paylin's mother wore a mask, breathing in oxygen, and glanced at Zhang Yifan behind Paylin. Yifan, you contacted Lin Lin. Professor Mo, I'm sorry. I was too panicked when you had the accident just now, so I took it upon myself to contact Lin Lin. Paylin walked over and sat on the stool by her mother's bed. Why did you faint? It's nothing. Recently, the lab's protective equipment consumables ran short temporarily. Due to careless operation, I inhaled a tiny amount of reagent, causing mild poisoning. Paylin went to the doctor to ask about her mother's condition. Lin Lin, how about we take your mother to a major hospital for another checkup? Fainting is no small matter. In the afternoon, when her mother's body felt slightly better, Paylin took her mother to the hospital and didn't leave the hospital until it was dark. Paylin drove Jung Ifan back to the Jung family home. Jung's father repeatedly invited Paylin inside to sit down, and Jung Ifan also looked at Paylin with a face full of anticipation. No thanks. Thank you so much today, Ifan. I'll invite Uncle Jung for tea some other day when I'm free. I'll take my leave first. Jung Ifan still wanted to extend an invitation, but at this time the car window rolled down. It's too late today, so visiting would be inconvenient. Let's make it another day. Jung Ifan hurriedly pulled his father back. Dad, Professor Mo wasn't feeling well today. Lin and I just accompanied Professor Mo to the hospital. You guys should make plans another day. Paylin drove off with her mother, heading straight back to the Pei family mansion. Paylin's mother leaned against the back of the seat, her head still hurting slightly. You've been out for so long. How is Ah Chen supposed to eat? He has hands and feet. If he's hungry, he'll figure it out himself, Paylin said displeasedly. Paylin's mother glanced at her daughter. Now that you're married, remember to keep your distance from Ifan. Paylin's brows knit tightly in displeasure, and she replied, okay, I'll keep that in mind. At 10 p.m., Paylin returned to Kyoyu Terraces. I was standing by the fridge drinking a beverage. Why are you back so late today? Paylin ignored me, changed her shoes, and prepared to go upstairs. I strode over to follow her. Just as I walked up beside her, did you go out to see a man today? Paylin halted her steps and looked at me. I leaned closer to Paylin to sniff her scent. Paylin watched my little movements. Despite her inner germophobia, she surprisingly didn't push me away. I sniffed carefully twice. You definitely went out to see a man. There's a pine scent of a man on you. My brother has his pine scent too, but my brother isn't home right now. Paylin couldn't have gone to see some other wild man, right? What if I did? Paylin was speechless. She turned to go upstairs, and I followed her right up. But when we reached the second floor, Paylin kept going toward the third floor. Seeing that I was about to follow her up there too, Paylin stopped her steps and looked at me. I was completely bewildered. Paylin glanced at my wide-open bedroom door. I also turned my head back to take a look. Oh, right. I forgot my bedroom is right here. Paylin was completely helpless. She then continued upstairs and returned to her own bedroom. I lay on the bed and called my grandfather. Grandfather, how is that matter I asked you to handle going? Let me give you a fair warning first. If you can't arrange for me to return to the country for university, I will go find Paylin right now. And I'll tell Grandfather Pei all of your embarrassing secrets, so Grandfather Pei can mock you for the rest of your days. Oh my dear grandson, don't be so impatient. The paperwork for transferring from abroad is still being processed, I said in a no-nonsense tone. Anyway, there are still 2 months left. You'd better get this done for me. Otherwise, I'll tell grandmother where your secret slush fund is hidden. The nearby old lady Shen overheard the call, pinching her old man's ear. Ow. Old man, you actually have a secret slush fund. I instantly felt guilty. I accidentally messed up again. Old lady, let me explain. No, I don't. That was just to trick our grandson. I swear I really didn't save any money behind your back. I hung up the phone out of guilt. Afterward, grandfather called me back again, but I didn't dare to answer. The next day, Jung Ifan went to the Pei family home to visit. Why don't I see Lin? Paylin's mother knew that his real intention lay elsewhere. Jung Ifan was the son of a business partner. Back when he wanted to be her graduate student, it was hard for her to refuse, so she agreed. In the past, I could turn a blind eye to it, but now Lin is married. If this continues, causing misunderstandings won't be good. Therefore, Paylin's mother called her daughter Lin. Come home for lunch at noon. Bring Ah Chen back with you. We have a guest at home. I stepped down from Paylin's car, first seeing the African milk tree I bought placed over there, being taken care of perfectly. I happily dragged Paylin over to take a look. Hearing the car engine shut off, Jung Ifan inside the house had anticipation in his eyes. Then he heard a man's voice talking. Paylin, look, grandfather's plant is being raised so well. Let's go buy another pot for grandfather. Elder Pei was so scared that his eyes went wide. Absolutely not. Out in the yard, Paylin grabbed my arm. Buying one pot is enough. If there are too many, he won't be able to keep them alive. Elder Pei let out a sigh of relief. His granddaughter still had a bit of a conscience. I said in confusion, but I think grandfather is raising it really well. Inside the house, Elder Pei prayed to himself, please don't buy anymore. Do not buy anymore. Entering the house, I saw a stranger standing there, completely dazed. Who is this? I glanced at the woman beside me, waiting for her to introduce him to me. Jung Ifan stood up in a hurry, looking at me beside Paylin and asking in confusion, Lin, you're back. This? Who is this? Looking at it this way, Jung Ifan actually seemed like the man of the house, while I seemed like the guest. I personally didn't mind, and didn't care at all, but Old Lady Pei and Paylin's mother cared a whole lot. Old Lady Pei stood up elegantly. Ah, Chen is back. Come over to grandmother quickly. Were you and Lin planning to buy flowers for your grandfather again? You young couple just got married, so just live your own lives well. Don't always buy this and that for us old folks. You young couple just got married. These words struck like 2 bolts of lightning right on top of Jung Ifan's head. He went completely cold all over, and no amount of powerful expression management could save him. He unconsciously let his face drop, sinking into a gloomy expression. Paylin is married. He stared at me with my bright smile. shocked that it was actually this man in front of him. Why? When did this happen? Who is he? Unaware that I was being viewed as a love rival, I sat down beside Grandmother Pei. I nodded excitedly. Yeah, I saw grandfather's plant is doing quite well, but too bad Pei Lin won't let me buy another one. She's not filial at all. Old Lady Pei had always been elegant, never showing her teeth when smiling. But now she was laughing exceptionally heartily. Old Pei, did you hear what our grandson-in-law said? Lin is not filial. Pei's mother also smiled and scolded her daughter. Even your husband is criticizing you. You have to change in the future, you know. Pei Lin smiled faintly and sat down on the single sofa in the living room. Pei's mother looked toward me and said, by the way, Ah Chen, let me introduce you. This is the young master of the Zhang group, my student Zhang Yifan. This senior brother of yours is very good at his studies. Then Pei's mother introduced her son-in-law, Zhang Yifan. This is Shen Chen, Lin's husband. I proactively stepped forward to greet him. Hello? Zhang Yifan's body seemed completely frozen. The friendly hand I extended received no response. Zhang Yifan snapped out of it and said, Professor Mo, I suddenly remembered I have something to do, so I'll take my leave first. Yifan, aren't you staying for lunch? Zhang Yifan glanced at Pei Lin expectantly, his eyes filled with deep affection, but Pei Lin still didn't look up at him. He bypassed Pei Lin and quickly walked out. I curled my lips. If that man's composure had been a bit stronger just now, it might have been easier to win sympathy. Leaving so dejectedly, is he afraid others won't notice? And he's even hostile toward me. I'm completely innocent here, okay? Old Lady Pei watched me staring at Pei Lin like this, imagining that the husband was looking at his wife longingly, using his eyes to accuse Pei Lin of being a heartless woman. Pei's mother didn't say anything more, and called the family over to eat. During the meal, I finally learned about my mother-in-law fainting yesterday. Mom fainted yesterday. Ah, Chen mom is fine now, don't worry. No way, you still need to get a blood test and a CT scan. Mom, wait a minute, I'll call my mom and have her arrange it. Ah, Chen mom is fine. I already got checked yesterday. I was still a bit worried and made a phone call to my mom. In the afternoon, I showed up at my own mom's office with my mother-in-law. Zhang Yifan returned home in despair. I don't understand. Why did Pei Lin suddenly get married? Pei Lin is married. Aren't the Pei family and the Shen family bitter rivals? Some people said before that their two families had an arranged marriage, but nobody believed it. They've been fighting for decades, so how could they just bury the hatchet and become in-laws? On the way back to Kyoyu Terraces with Pei Lin, I suddenly spoke up. The pine scent on you yesterday belongs to Zhang Yifan. I sniffed it out. No wonder his eyes were completely glued to you today. Pei Lin glanced at me. Yesterday my mom fainted in the lab, and he was the one who called to notify me. Listen to what you're saying. His eyes were practically growing on your body, yet you still deny that his feelings for you are too deep. How could anyone who doesn't know the truth not misunderstand? Shut up. I leaned back against the car seat angrily, bottling up a stomachful of frustration. The more I thought about it, the more uncomfortable I felt. No way I still have to get one of my own people to look into this, before I can believe what she said. The next day, I picked up my phone and found a long-lost friend collecting dust, dialing his number directly. Lying in bed and not yet awake, the young master of the Tang family. Didn't even check the number, answering the call directly. Hello, selling real estate or selling cars? I'm not buying insurance. If you're a telecom scammer, I might actually be interested in chatting with you for a bit. It's me. Tang Jiang was in a daze. One second he was closing his eyes and no one could wake him up. The next second he kicked off his blanket and sat up from the bed. Ah, Chen, you're back in the country. I've been back for over a month now. Sure enough, the next day, the handsome, dashing, and charming Tang Jiang appeared right in front of me. Tang Jiang sat down across from me, picking up the iced coffee in front of me to take a sip. Why did you hit me up out of nowhere? I snatched the iced coffee back from his hand. Why are you back? The two of us have over 10 years of friendship. Back then, I was sent abroad by my family for school, and the one who threw the biggest fit and had the strongest objections was him. Tang Jiang wanted to go abroad with me at the time, but he was snapped back to reality by my words. Xiang, are you stupid? You've taken IELTS and TOEFL over 20 times. Stop struggling. Hearing this, Tang Jiang said, Bro, I'm done studying. Studying makes my hair fall out and you still call me stupid. Then he stayed in the country and safely attended university, while I was single-handedly sent abroad by my family through tricks and deception. Even so, the moment I stepped out of the country, Tang Jiang flew over right after me to help me get familiar with the foreign environment. Once I was mostly familiar with it, he went back to the country. Do me a favor and get ready. Hell no, I'm not helping. It's related to Pei Lin. Tang Jiang looked like he had just heard the biggest joke ever. Related to Pei Lin, you're asking me for help. Oh my god, you really think too highly of me. My third young master of the Shen family. Time to change how you address me. Call me the Pei family's son-in-law. Screw you, even if I were the Pei family's son-in-law, there's no way you could be the Pei family's son-in-law. I looked at my excited friend. Just now you asked me why I came back, right? Take a sip first to calm your nerves. I pushed the iced coffee over. Why? Just listen to me. Tang Jiang had just taken a sip and hadn't even swallowed it yet. I came back to get married. Tang Jiang sprayed a mouthful of coffee out. spraying it straight onto the ground. Thinking it wasn't shocking enough, I added, "Guess who I married?" Tang Jiang stared at me dumbfounded. I leaned in, Peilin. "No way." Peilin is practically a queen-like figure in Haicheng, the goddess in the hearts of so many people. Your family and the Pei family are also bitter rivals. Peilin could marry anyone, but it's impossible for her to marry you. Knew you wouldn't believe it? I even brought the marriage certificate along, pushing the red booklet over to Tang Jiang. "How much did you buy this for under the overpass?" I took out my phone, dialed a number, and then put it on speaker. Peilin, who was just about to go to a meeting, looked at the incoming number. Peilin, who was just about to go to a meeting, stared at the incoming caller ID. She waved her hand, signaling her subordinates to go inside first. The food hasn't been delivered home yet. "Is your name Peilin?" My teasing voice came through. With a completely speechless face, Peilin said, "Shen Chen, what are you trying to do again?" "Oh, it's nothing. Goodbye, wifey." I hung up the phone decisively. I looked at my best friend who was petrified across from me. "Believe it now." Tang Jiang nodded mechanically. "Ah, Chen, you boy really hit the jackpot." "Ah, Chen, that is the internationally renowned Peilin. How about it? Now you can do me that favor, right?" The two of us leaned in close, and I whispered a sentence directly into Tang Jiang's ear. "What? You two just got married and you're already asking me to dig into her social media history?" When I returned home in the afternoon, Peilin was already sitting on the sofa waiting for me. "What was the meaning of that phone call this morning?" "It didn't mean anything. I just saw an unsaved number, so I called to ask if it was you." Hearing my voice wasn't enough to confirm it. "You just had to call me wifey out loud." "Who bullied you today? Did you need to use my status to help back them off?" Going back, I took a sip of water. "Do I look like someone who's easy to bully?" Peilin took a glance, yes. I let out an angry huff, walked behind Peilin, and habitually leaned close to sniff her scent. It was also because my previous suspicions hadn't faded yet. I turned around and went back to the bedroom. In the evening, my stomach was growling, so I came out to forage for food. Seeing that Peilin hadn't cooked yet, I went back inside. Half an hour later, I walked out again, and found that Peilin still hadn't cooked. I kept going back to the room. When I came out for the third time, "Peilin, go cook, I'm hungry." Peilin didn't even look up. Explain clearly what that phone call meant first, only then will you get food. Are you out of your mind? I opened the fridge, munched on a cucumber, and left. After another half hour, I sat down on the sofa. Facing the woman who holds absolute power over my food, I spoke up. I met up with my best bro and flexed to him that I married you. He didn't believe it, so I called you. "Flexing," I replied testily, "yeah." "Are you very happy to have married me?" "Not happy? What is there to flex about if I'm not happy?" I explained it, but you don't believe me. "Are you going to cook or what?" "If you don't cook, I'll tell grandfather that you're letting me starve." This afternoon, Tang Jiang, the young master of the Tang group, was investigating information about me across various social circles, mainly looking into gossip and rumors. Peilin looked at me, who was looking a bit guilty. I heard that this Master Tang has been good brothers with my husband for over 10 years. I was instantly speechless. Silence is the bridge of no return tonight. Noiselessness is my final stand of stubbornness. I want to eat tomato and egg noodles. We're having stir-fried potatoes tonight. I curled my lips, then go make it. Are you still waiting for me to step up and blow up the kitchen? Although she said we were eating potatoes, looking at the diced potatoes, potato slices, shredded potatoes, and potato chunks in front of me, I muttered, "Peilin, aren't you afraid? The potato family will come to seek revenge on you." "Not afraid. She doesn't usually cook often. When she did cook, she was just eating by herself, with fixed times and fixed portions, behaving elegantly. She rarely shared a dining table with a man. Looking at the potato feast on the table, she thought I would be sick of it. To her surprise, I held my bowl and chopsticks, devouring it greedily. She never expected I would be such a supportive audience. "This is so delicious. This one is sour yummy. This one is spicy, so satisfying. Peilin, you're way too awesome." I stood up with my rice bowl. Peilin thought I was full and preparing to leave, but then she found me holding my bowl and walking straight to the living room, turning on the TV to watch while eating. When you eat, just eat. Don't watch TV. Eating without watching TV makes the food lose half its flavor. "Shenwan, hurry up and come back to take your brother away." After eating and drinking my fill, I went back to the bedroom and made a video call to Tang Jiang. "Stop digging, you've already blown your cover." Learning that he had already been counter-investigated, Tang Jiang seemed super hyped instead. As expected of the eldest Miss Pei, she's truly badass. I haven't even dug up anything yet. At the end of the call, Tang Jiang smiled suggestively. "Chen, are you currently staying at QU Terraces?" "Yeah," Tang Jiang said excitedly. "Hurry, hurry, hurry. Show me around to appreciate the scenery of QU Terraces." I looked at him with a face full of disgust. "It's pitch black outside. What could you possibly see?" "Then, are you currently living together with Peilin Lin?" I hesitated for a moment. I guess you could say that." Tang Jiang got even more hyped. "Ah, Chen, I'm gonna crown you as a god. Quick, let me take a look at the eldest Miss Pei's face." Just a single glance. I've never even seen President Pei in person. Holding up my phone, I said, "Then keep quiet." I'll just take a quick, casual video. Tang Jiang nodded excitedly, holding his phone with a face full of anticipation. Both sides turned on mute. I walked out, scratched my head, and shouted toward the upper floor, Paylene. Paylene, who was in the study, clearly heard me, but closed her eyes, pretending to be asleep and ignoring me. Paylene! My voice was like demonic music entering her ears. Paylene closed her laptop and stepped out. What is it? That? I'm hungry again? I had to trick her into coming down first. Otherwise, if she stayed on the 3rd floor and wouldn't come down, there was no way I could take a video of her. How is this man so hard to serve? He ate so much tonight, and before it's even digested, he's hungry again. She suddenly thought of her promise to her grandfather that she wouldn't let me starve, and also remembered that I am Shen Wan's little brother, so she had to show some respect. Taking a deep breath, she said, "Got it." While walking downstairs, she remembered the tomato and egg noodles I had ordered. Paylene walked into the kitchen and was just about to make them. She sharply caught trace of me behind her, secretly sneaking in. As soon as she turned around, she saw me standing there, completely well-behaved. Paylene frowned, turned back around, and continued chopping tomatoes. Tang Jiang was waiting anxiously as the camera lens started to shake. Just as I stealthily lifted my phone to snap a pic, Paylene suddenly spun around. Panic-stricken, I hid the phone behind my back. Paylene walked over, hand over the phone. I shook my head no. Paylene reached out to grab it. Why was he taking photos of me cooking? Is he trying to post them online? Or show my photos to other people? Or maybe I'm afraid of blowing my cover. Flustered, I fumbled blindly with the screen, not even knowing if the video call had been hung up. Don't sneak photos of me. I shook my head. I didn't. Paylene glared at me, giving me a sudden fright. Taking advantage of my dazed moment, Paylene snatched my phone away with one swift motion. Our video call had already been hung up. When I was tapping randomly just now, Paylene could only see the chat history, showing a video call between 2 people that lasted for half an hour. Due to the struggle just now, the 2 of us were standing extremely close. Paylene looked up, seeing my face clearly for the first time. Handsome and well-defined features that anyone would praise as a total heartthrob. Paylene admiringly looked at those almond eyes. Paylene's heartbeat unconsciously quickened, feeling so familiar, just like the person back then who pulled me out of the dark world. Right then my phone ringtone went off. The 2 of us looked over at the same time. It was Tang Jiang. He had been sending messages for ages with no reply, so he called. And at this exact moment, Paylene finally realized that the distance between us was too close. She took a step back to widen the space between them. My heart was also pounding rapidly. This woman is going to be my sister-in-law in the future. With how we were just now, how am I supposed to face my brother later? Tang Jiang didn't see a single thing, and now nobody was even picking up the phone. Paylene didn't want to deal with me anymore, preparing to return to her bedroom. Midnight snack. Paylene took the tomato she had just sliced a few times and stuffed it directly into my mouth. Eat up. She went upstairs. The next second, Tang Jiang's phone call came through again. This time I answered it, Chen. What were you lagging for just now? Man, why were you stuttering earlier? Don't tell me you got shot. What happened between you and President Pei? Nothing happened at all. My guilty eyes dodged the screen. The moment I thought of the scene just now, my heart skipped a beat for an instant. A vision popped up out of nowhere in my mind. The 2 of us slowly leaning in close to each other. It scared me so much that I hurriedly shook my head to shake off this terrifying vision. Tang Jiang saw my uneasiness. You 2 couldn't have... On the other side, Paylene stopped her steps on the stairs. What if he really gets hungry in the middle of the night? Those ingredients will just go to waste if left there anyway. I might as well make him a bowl of noodles. Hearing my speakerphone voice, she who was about to go down the steps decisively turned around and went back. No, I didn't. It's not what you think. She is going to be my sister-in-law in the future. Tang Jiang wrinkled his face and grimaced, finding it hard to accept. Your family situation is pretty complicated. Whatever. You'll find out in the future. A few days later, Shen Wan returned to the country. She didn't go back to the Shen family home, but came straight to QU Terraces instead. In the evening, Paylene came home early. She didn't cook, but had the restaurant staff deliver the food straight to the house. Food from restaurants isn't as good as your cooking. I had a face full of displeasure at the time, and it's not as hygienic as what you make. Is it because... Before I could finish my sentence, I was interrupted by the shouting of someone suddenly pushing open the door. Little brother. Paylene. Shenwan walked in quickly, looking at me as I circled around Paylene, looking pitiful. My dear sister, you're finally back. Little brother Sis is back. What's wrong? Did someone bully you? Sis, can you stop calling me little brother? It doesn't sound good. Paylene stood up, looking at the deeply hugging sibling, and walked over, reaching out to pull me away. Why are you back so late? You think I wanted to be... I was delayed at the base? I say, Paylene, you're something else. Taking advantage of my big brother and me not being home. How did you suddenly claim my brother as your own? What were you thinking? How old is my little brother anyway? Sis, I'm not little anymore. My birthday this year is already over. Shenwan was in the middle of getting emotional when she suddenly froze. What? When did you have your birthday? I rolled my eyes at my sister. It passed a long time ago. It's one thing that you didn't even call, but you didn't even send a gift. My big brother went missing and you went missing too. Shenwan came up with a lame excuse of there was no signal at sea. Sis forgot. After saying that, Shenwan continued her rant at Paylin. To be frank, it's really hard for me to accept you becoming my sister-in-law. Paylin was completely exasperated. I stood to the side to explain for her. Sis, you're scolding the wrong person. Huh, what's going on? Don't tell me you were the one who took the initiative. Are you trying to anger our grandfather to death? I shook my head. No, it was our grandfather who forced me to marry her. I didn't want to marry her either. Sis, you have no idea, since moving in, I don't even have a place to eat properly, and no one helps take care of my laundry. 10 minutes later, Shenwan confirmed, so this marriage really was decided by our old man. But why? I sat next to Shenwan, whispering secrets to my sister right in front of Paylin. Seriously. Then I leaned closer to Shenwan's ear to continue whispering. And there's also this matter. I nodded again and kept leaning into Shenwan's ear. You agree? I still nodded. Just as I was about to tell my sister something else, Paylin walked over. Take him away. Don't worry, I will. Sis, hurry up and take me away. QU Terraces doesn't have any life to it. I'm only staying because my second sister is here. Not only is this place deserted, but there's also nothing in the surrounding area. Even food delivery can barely reach this place. I really can't stand living here, especially since it gets exceptionally quiet at night. As I spoke, I also glanced up and down at Paylin. Yeah, I dragged my sister along and vented everything. Finally feeling relieved? Anyway, my sister is about to take me back home right away. Just as I was thinking this happily, I think, little brother, since you've already married Paylin, you have to live together with her. Leaving your wife halfway to go home alone is something our Shen family absolutely cannot do. She was originally here to take her brother home, but the persona of the world's best sister completely collapsed. What my brother told me just now gave me a great piece of inspiration. It seems I can't take the third brother away just yet. It's way too hard to plant someone in Paylin's inner circle. Now that my brother has finally moved in with great effort, no matter what, I have to maximize my own brother's role to the limit. And besides, in the future, I can use the excuse of visiting my brother to come straight over. Perfect. Sis, did you make yourself stupid by doing experiments? My sister tried to persuade me, little brother. Listen to sis. I'm not listening. I said in anger, sis, you're going to abandon me too. I miss my big brother who loves me the most so much. Shenwan tried to negotiate with me. Little brother, anyway, you and Linlin will negotiate to dissolve the marriage contract after 2 years. Hearing these words, Paylin's elegant brows twitched slightly, and she watched the two of us calmly. Wait until you graduate to return to being single. Listen to sis. Staying with Paylin these 2 years. To learn business management isn't a bad idea either. I said angrily. Then why don't you learn from her? Sis is already too excellent. There's no room left for improvement. I thought my sister could come over to vent my anger and drag me away right away. But the reality. My sister came to QU Terraces, ate a big feast, and even called it beautifully. I'm just here to see where my little brother and sister-in-law live. What does this count as? Does it count as my bad luck? When I went to see my sister off, Shenwan held my arm and whispered a few words into my ear. After hearing it, I asked speechlessly, sis, why are you also asking me to get stuff from Paylin? Not far behind the siblings, Paylin was completely speechless. Shenwan asked, who else besides me and our grandpa? Grandpa Pei, my actual grandpa told me, Chen, Paylin knows your brother's whereabouts. Find a chance to negotiate with Linlin, or if that fails, quietly borrow it. Although our family is also investigating, once we combine the data from our two families, we'll be able to find your brother's whereabouts. Grandpa Pei said at the time, Chen, Grandpa Pei will tell you a secret. Now my sister is doing the exact same thing. Little brother Paylin has a black file folder. Negotiate with her. Let's get it to take a look. In the end, they each promised me different benefits. I knew they were both just painting pretty pictures. Shenwan went home. I turned around to look at my newlywed wife standing there watching me. What are you looking at? Go with her. I touched my nose out of guilt. I'm not going with her. Just go, my place has no life to it. I frantically waved my hands. Well, I've still lived here for so many days. And you've also lived here for so many years. Paylin continued with her sarcasm. It's deserted here. There's nothing in the surrounding area, and nobody even delivers food here. Shenwan had just left, and immediately after the couple started bickering. Well, I'm used to it now, okay? It gets exceptionally quiet here at night. Paylin stopped her words. You'd better be careful. Words of retaliation blurted out from me. I should be careful of you instead. I feel like you have a ton of resentment right now. Not to lecture you, but you're the company president after all, so don't always hold on to such petty things. I am your husband right now, you know. Paylin was absolutely fuming at me. Living at my place for a day means doing a day's work. Clean up the dining room. I glanced at the leftovers from the three of us. You're making me wash the dishes. Paylin gritted her teeth to calm herself down. There's a dishwasher in the kitchen. After saying that, she went straight upstairs. I stood there scratching my head. Before long, I popped out at the corner of the second floor. Laylin, Paylin, Pei, The door to the third floor study opened, and the woman walked out. What is it? How do you use the dishwasher? It was that time of the week to go back with Paylin to the Pay family home for dinner again. I had learned my lesson and decided that tonight, I would absolutely not stay overnight. But President Pay said her illness hadn't fully cured yet. I was a bit worried about my mother-in-law, so I ended up staying over again. During this period of time, whenever Elder Pay went out, he loved flexing how great his grandson-in-law was. The words even reached my grandfather's ears, so the two old men started competing secretly again. My grandfather called me up. Didn't I tell you to help get back at him for your grandpa? What kind of jokes are you telling at his house? Before coming here, I was indeed full of energy and arrogance, fully prepared. But everyone in the Pay family treats me really well. Grandfather intentionally stirring up conflict isn't good. It's fine, go ahead and do it boldly. The sooner you guys split, the better. The procedures for your school transfer have all been settled on this end, just waiting for your school term to start. But the major you want to study? I was lying on the end of the bed making the call, and Paylin walked in only to see me lying like this. After hanging up, I went downstairs feeling depressed. Elder Pay and Paylin's parents were in the living room. It looked like Paylin's father had just gotten home. I was truly wise. It wasn't in vain that I put my old pride on the line, just to force the two of them together. The more Elder Pay talked, the more frustrated I felt. I'm a perfectly fine third young master of the Shen family. Yet I was dragged here to be a grandson-in-law just over some ancient history. Being a grandson-in-law is one thing, but my grandfather isn't even fulfilling his promise. How big of a deal could it have been back then? In my depression, I spoke up. Grandfather, I'm curious about something. What is it? I'm a bit embarrassed to ask it out loud. Grandfather Pay, you and Grandmother Pay have been married for decades. Why are you still thinking about what happened back then? Grandfather Pay, you couldn't have just kept holding a candle for that old engagement contract, right? The living room instantly went dead silent. Nobody said a single word. Pay's mother looked behind me and Grandfather Pay, Mom. The two of us spun around at the same time and saw the elegant old lady who had just come out of the restroom. Old Lady Pay nodded elegantly. Anyone who knew her well would know that this was her holding back her anger. The more elegant she acted, the angrier she actually was. Elder Pay's face turned completely red. Nonsense. There's no such thing. I never held a candle for anyone else. That was just the older generation trying to play matchmaker back then. I hadn't even shared a single meal with your grandma. On the sofa nearby, Paylin's face was practically freezing over, staring daggers at my face. Elder Pay saw that his wife hadn't moved an inch, and he knew he was completely cooked. His wife was throwing a tantrum. My eyes darted around. I only brought up the past for some casual chat because I saw Grandmother Pay wasn't around just now. It's not like my brain is fried. How could it be such a coincidence that Grandmother Pay appeared right after I finished asking? Paylin walked over, grabbed my wrist, and scolded me gently. Stop gossiping about the elders past here. Watch it or I won't show any respect to your brother and sister. I hurriedly apologized in a panic. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Old Lady Pay waved her hand. It's fine. I'm not mad at Ah-Chen. Ah-Chen is just telling the truth. Pay's mother quickly tried to smooth things over from the side. Mom, Ah-Chen is still young. Don't lower yourself to a kid's level. Old Lady Pay smiled and nodded. Linlin, Ah-Chen is staying over at the Pay house tonight. After saying that, Grandmother Pay said to her daughter-in-law, Xiaoya, let's go upstairs. She didn't give Grandfather Pay a single glance throughout the whole thing. This left Elder Pay completely anxious. This was ancient history from God knows how many years ago. Yuan, you know I didn't. Grandmother Pay went upstairs and closed the door. Elder Pay looked at me as I lowered my head. Elder Pay looked at me as I lowered my head. Paylin hurriedly dragged me upstairs. Closing the door, she asked, did Grandfather Shen order you to do this? Yeah, but what I originally planned to do was hide grandmother's flowers. Wait, why am I telling you the plan between my grandfather and me? I only realized it halfway through speaking. I was just too anxious, so I blurted out whatever she asked. My grandfather didn't tell me to stir up trouble. I hurriedly tried to fix things after the fact. Paylin knew the two old men didn't get along, and were always competing secretly. I scratched the back of my head guiltily, quietly glancing at Paylin, only to find her still staring daggers at me. I felt even more reproached. Now that Paylin knew the plan between my grandfather and me, I was kinda scared she wouldn't believe me. I really didn't do it on purpose this time. I checked to see that grandmother wasn't around before asking. I just can't wrap my head around why my grandfather insisted on making me marry you. Paylin was left completely speechless by my words. What difference does it make even if you get the answer? No difference. Then is there still any point in knowing? The purpose of an answer is to clear up confusion, not to keep closing your eyes to the truth. Paylin was stunned for a moment. Then let me tell you, our marriage stems from a petty misunderstanding between the older generation. Then why did it have to be me? Paylin's tone was deadpan. Because you are the youngest in your family, and your grandfather usually flexes about you the most. So my grandfather picked you. I pressed further, based on what? Based on the fact that you're the easiest to push around. I felt like I had just taken critical damage of cosmic proportions, and straight up stormed out of the room. Paylin stared at my retreating back, feeling a bit regretful all of a sudden. Why did she have to say those things to trigger him? After taking a shower, Palin planned to go to the study. But seeing the room completely empty, she muttered, "Why isn't he back yet?" She went out to ask the servants and learned that I had gone out. Palin decided to drop it. She went straight to the study. While she was busy working, she checked the time in the bottom right corner of her computer. It was already 11 p.m. It's this late already. He should be back by now, right? Palin stood up, walked out, and went back to his bedroom. Pushing the door open, the inside was still exactly as it had been, and the bed was clean and neat. Palin frowned deeply. He didn't come back. He's a grown man and he's still throwing a sulking tantrum. Is he an idiot? Palin muttered to herself, and then she went back to the study. Another half hour passed by. She couldn't sit still anymore and stood up. The room was still the same. Could it be that he ran back to the Shen family home? He is her husband after all, so Palin hyped herself up with some mental preparation. Let's just show a little concern. She took out her phone and proactively dialed my number. After 2 rings on the other side, the call was straight up declined by me. The corner of Palin's mouth twitched. This guy has some nerve. Just because of a few words, he's staying out all night. Then let him stay outside by himself today. At 12:30 a.m., a Haicheng news broadcast popped up on Palin's phone, suspect on the loose. And a photo was released telling the general public to be careful and to call the cops immediately if they spotted anyone suspicious. Palin closed the news. Even if she didn't view him as her newlywed husband, she still had to consider that he was her best friend's little brother. What if that idiot actually ran into a bad guy, right, just so her best friend wouldn't worry? 5 minutes later, Palin walked out in a massive rush. Grandmother Pei, who also hadn't slept yet, walked out. Linlin, it's so late and you're not sleeping. Where are you going? She went out to find Shen Chen. Not long after, Palin showed up at the Shen family home. The Shen family was completely caught off guard. Linlin, it's so late, why did you come by yourself? Ah, Chen didn't come with you. He didn't even come back to the Shen family. The Shen family was worried about him. After making up a casual excuse, she straight up left. Shen Wan chased her out. What happened to my brother? What happened to my brother? Palin had a worried look on her face. We had a bickering match. He ran out. As soon as Shen Wan heard this, she immediately went to the garage to get her car. If anything happens to him, I'm never going to let you off the hook. So, Palin was aimlessly searching along the main roads in the downtown area. Just as she was hesitating whether to call people to join the search, her phone suddenly rang. She picked it up to take a look, and it was surprisingly me, the one who was staying out all night. She parked her car by the roadside and answered the phone immediately. Hello. Her voice carried a trace of anxiety. I just got out of the shower. Is there something you called for? Where are you? I replied with a bit of confusion. At home. Where on earth are you? Chen Chen, when did you learn to lie? I instantly bristled. Why does she just refuse to believe my explanation? I really didn't plan on doing that. Since she didn't believe me, I spoke with a heavy tone. Palin, I'll say it one more time. I didn't plan on hurting grandfather and grandmother's feelings, and my grandfather wouldn't make me do that either. I am not lying, I'm not. If I said the wrong thing, I'll apologize. I'm already making amends. Believe it or not, I hung up the phone angrily. Palin put down her phone, leaning back in the car to think carefully. She had been to the Shen family home, but didn't see him. Then she made a call to Shen Wan. Did you find my brother? Palin straight up asked, did you actually see Ah Chen tonight? When I got home tonight, I was right in the living room listening to my grandpa and grandma lecture me. If my brother had come back, my grandfather would have dragged him into the lecture too. My brother called you. Shen Wan figured it out instantly. Yeah, he said he was at home. Shen Wan and Palin instantly both thought of the Pei family home. Palin hurriedly drove back home. As soon as she entered the living room, she asked the servant who was still on duty, has the son-in-law come back? The son-in-law went upstairs to rest as soon as he came back. Palin went upstairs and returned to the bedroom. Looking at me lying on the bed, she let out a sigh of relief. Suddenly, the phone rang. It was a call from Shen Wan. Yeah, he went back home. He's already asleep. Linlin Ah Chen was spoiled and raised by Big Brother and me. If the two of you really can't get along, I'll just pick him up and take him to my apartment. I got it. I was suddenly startled awake. Blinking my eyes sleepily, I saw Palin standing right next to me. I snapped wide awake instantly, sitting straight up from the bed in a flash. Palin, why are you standing here completely without a sound? You scared the crap out of me. Palin's face was full of displeasure. I was worried about you and went out to look for you for so long. It's one thing to yell at me over the phone, but you're still yelling at me after coming back. You're still giving me attitude. I really wasted my efforts. The next day, the sun was shining bright. I really didn't do it. That ancient history stuff was purely just me bickering with old man Shen. Ayuan, you have to believe me. Talk to me, please. The old lady finally acknowledged him. Move your dragon bone cactus away from my flower stand. I might accidentally splash water on it when I water mine. Fine. He carried the plant and was about to leave. Wait a minute. Leave that pot Ah Chen bought behind. So it turns out it wasn't about splashing water on it. She just didn't want my plant sitting up there. Grandfather Pei even dragged his son and daughter-in-law over to speak up for him. Don't you guys have to go to work? Are you that free? The two looked at each other, and Palin's father took her mother's hand and left. Grandfather Pei was so mad, his beard puffed up, glaring, "That brat." He wouldn't even say a single good word to help me out. Grandfather Pei planned to look for his granddaughter and grandson-in-law, but as it turned out, those two were still sleeping. When they went to sleep last night, it was already 2 or 3 in the morning. At 8 a.m., I was woken up by Palin's phone call. Shuffling in my slippers, I went to wash up. Not long after, Palin finished her call and got out of bed. She walked into the washroom, looked at me and asked, "Where on earth did you go last night?" I spat out a mouthful of toothpaste foam. After eating breakfast, Palin was heading to the company. Before leaving, she said to me, "Shen-chun, you're coming with me. I'll drop you back home first." I still had big things to do. "I'm not leaving. I still have stuff to do. You just go ahead." Palin wasn't at ease. Pei's mother on the side said, "Don't worry, nobody will bully Ah-chen at home." Palin thought to herself, "Am I worried about him getting bullied? I'm worried about him looking for trouble." Still uneasy, she pulled me to the side and warned, "You're not allowed to do anything bad. If the atmosphere at home feels off, call me immediately." I didn't do anything bad. I really didn't mean to. Palin teased, "My brain isn't fried." I understood everything. "Your brain is the one that's fried?" I walked away in annoyance. Before stepping out to the door, she instructed the butler, "If things don't look right, call me. Keep a close eye on the son-in-law, and don't let him say the wrong things." The butler nodded, watching the eldest miss leave. For the entire morning, Palin didn't receive a single call. Feeling a bit uneasy, she called me, but I declined it. So she called the house staff. "Eldest miss, the son-in-law went out." Palin tightly gripped her phone. "Shen-chun." In the evening, Palin returned to the Pei family home. "Palin, hurry up and come here. Come over quick." I waved my hand, calling out to my wife. The excited look on my face completely impossible to hide. Palin walked over to my side completely clueless. Just as she was about to speak, "Grandfather, Palin is back. We're still going ahead with the plan tonight." I spoke excitedly, making Elder Pei blush a bit, feeling rather embarrassed. "Ah-chen, don't bait your grandpa into a trap. Will this really work?" "Grandfather, although it's an old cliche, you have to think about it. Why have these old-fashioned cliches lasted until today?" Answering my own question, I said, "Because they work." Palin asked curiously, "What are you guys doing?" "Grandfather, don't be scared. It's really not embarrassing at all. My wife is back. So the person to handle the situation is right here." Palin grew even more confused. With a face full of confusion, she looked at me. "Grandfather, do you still want to make grandmother happy?" Elder Pei had a helpless look on his face. "Ah-chen, after this whole thing is over, you're not allowed to add fuel to the fire and tell Old Man Shun, okay?" I suddenly went silent. What a brilliant idea. I hadn't even thought of that point. Palin tried to assert her presence and was just about to speak. "Lin, no matter what happens in a bit, you must hold your husband's hand. Don't let him take photos." Palin frowned and asked, "Wait, no, can you guys tell me what you're doing first?" After dinner, Grandmother Pei was tending to the plants in the yard. I gently nudged Palin's arm. "Palin, remember your task in a bit. If this whole thing gets messed up, you're not allowed to blame me for your grandparents' relationship issues." Palin looked at me in disbelief. "So last night you didn't run away from home? You went out with grandfather to look for a venue, and you didn't pick up my calls today because you went out to set up the venue." I said very proudly, "You bet. For this operation to save true love, I am the chief planner, chief commander, and chief director." Palin finally understood what making amends over the phone meant. So that's how it is. Childish. "What did you say?" Palin completely ignored me. "I just don't get it. This kind of tacky, unoriginal, and overdone confession setup is usually only done by people with low EQ. Why did he arrange it like this too?" I could see the disgust in Palin's eyes. Palin's gaze landed on my face. In a certain corner, Grandfather Pei was calling out in a low voice, "Ah-chen, Ah-chen, Ah-chai." I turned back to look at Grandfather Pei, who was sharply dressed, and gently nudged the woman beside me. "It's your turn to take the stage." Palin looked at me and left a comment, ignorant of the world. Palin asked curiously, "What are you guys doing?" "Grandfather, don't be scared. It's really not embarrassing at all. My wife is back, so the person to handle the situation is right here." Palin grew even more confused. With a face full of confusion, she looked at me. "Grandfather, do you still want to make grandmother happy?" Elder Pei had a helpless look on his face. "Ah-chen, after this whole thing is over, you're not allowed to add fuel to the fire and tell Old Man Shun, okay?" I suddenly went silent. What a brilliant idea. I hadn't even thought of that point. Palin tried to assert her presence and was just about to speak. "Lin, no matter what happens in a bit, you must hold your husband's hand. Don't let him take photos." Palin frowned and asked, "Wait, no. Can you guys tell me what you're doing first?" After dinner, Grandmother Pei was tending to the plants in the yard. I gently nudged Palin's arm. "Palin, remember your task in a bit. If this whole thing gets messed up, you're not allowed to blame me for your grandparents' relationship issues." Palin looked at me in disbelief. "So last night you didn't run away from home. You went out with grandfather to look for a venue, and you didn't pick up my calls today because you went out to set up the venue." I said very proudly, "You bet." For this operation to save true love, I am the chief planner, chief commander, and chief director. Paylene finally understood what making amends over the phone meant. So that's how it is, childish. What did you say? Paylene completely ignored me. I just don't get it. This kind of tacky, unoriginal, and overdone confession setup is usually only done by people with low EQ. Why did he arrange it like this too? I could see the disgust in Paylene's eyes. Paylene's gaze landed on my face. In a certain corner, Grandfather Pay was calling out in a low voice. Ah Chen. Ah Chen. I turned back to look at Grandfather Pay, who was sharply dressed, and gently nudged the woman beside me. It's your turn to take the stage, and got into her granddaughter's car. Didn't let your parents join in? Paylene smiled and explained Grandfather was afraid of losing face, so he didn't let us tell them. The car gradually pulled up towards the beachside. Grandmother asked teasingly, so he doesn't care about losing it in front of you and Ah Chen? Paylene continued to answer gently. Grandfather doesn't care about face in front of me, and even if he did, his good grandson-in-law completely ruined it all. Since he planned it together with Ah Chen, whether he cares or not isn't important anymore. Old Lady Pei smiled. Ah Chen really is a good kid. Grandfather, hurry up and get ready, lighting crew, kill the lights. Scouting the path ahead, I quickly passed down the commands. Then the surrounding area began to go completely dark. Paylene spotted me hiding behind the bushes. She glanced over and continued to drive past, her peripheral vision catching the rearview mirror again, and seeing me stand up and run toward the beach. Grandfather Pei was nervously memorizing his script. Ah Chen, do I really have to say such cringy things? I nodded solemnly. Grandfather, women love listening to sweet talk, especially this kind of stuff. Just trust me, you can't go wrong. Grandfather Pei looked at the script with a face full of suspicion. Not long after, he saw Paylene supporting grandmother as they walked on the beach. The next instant, a spotlight hit the two of them. The surroundings were pitch black, with the spotlight illuminating only where they stood. Paylene gritted her teeth. Why didn't you tell me there was this kind of arrangement? If there are reporters around here, what's going to happen to my public image? Fortunately, the light went out shortly after. Grandmother Pei stood on the beach, looking at her husband opposite her. Old, my dear wife. Paylene brought grandmother in front of grandfather, and decisively turned around to leave this chaotic place. Then she walked over and reached out to pinch my arm. Ouch, don't pinch my arm. Shen Chen, why didn't you tell me there was this part? My phone was still on a group voice call. Time was too tight to buy walkie-talkies, so we could only make do with the group call voice function. I couldn't care less about my arm hurting, and straight up commanded, activate the ground lanterns. The next instant, the lights on the ground lit up. Roses were planted all over the surrounding beach, with a flashing light underneath each rose, illuminating this whole circle. Looking closely, it was actually in the shape of a heart, and the two of them were standing right in the middle of it. Grandmother Pei was puzzled. Could it be my presbyopia acting up? There were clearly no flowers just now. How did they appear all of a sudden? Even though she had guessed what would happen, she was still completely shocked by the scene before her eyes. Next, Grandfather Pei brought out a huge bouquet of roses from behind his back. He cleared his throat, thinking about the sickly sweet pickup lines his grandson-in-law made him memorize. No way, no way. His granddaughter and grandson-in-law might not be right there, but there were still backstage crew members around my dear wife. A person's effort can be faked for a moment, but it can't be faked for a lifetime. Whether I love you or not, nobody knows better than you do. Stop ignoring me. When I usually bicker with old man Shun, I never bring up that matter. Back when I didn't know how to refuse, she appeared. Back then, I used to go to the next door factory to peek at you all the time. You were elegant, dignified, gentle, and beautiful. The person in my heart is you. It's always been you. I did screw up. But every time he flexed in front of me about how cute his youngest grandson was, I was so jealous that I wished Ah Chen belonged to our family instead. To stop me from rushing over to question him, Paylene hurriedly grabbed my arm, only to hear Grandfather Pei continue. I don't know old man Shen's little secrets either, and our two families don't have any business dealings. Besides, Linlin is running everything in the company now, so she definitely wouldn't listen to me. That's why I could only bring up old history. I don't know about anything else. I only know that I married my true love. Old Lady Pei looked at her anxious husband, and she suddenly burst out laughing, covering her mouth. I get it. Grandfather Pei asked tentatively, then you're not mad anymore. Grandmother Pei didn't answer, but simply reached out her hand toward grandfather. I hurriedly said over the voice call, Grandfather, hurry up and hand the flowers to grandmother. Grandfather Pei quickly handed the flowers over and continued asking my dear wife, tomorrow can my pot of dragon bone cactus bask in the sun together with your flowers? Grandmother Pei nodded. The next instant, fireworks burst right above the two of them, brilliant like starry diamonds. As the fireworks exploded layer by layer in the night sky, I leaned close to Paylene's side and smiled while lowering my voice. See, mission successfully accomplished. Grandfather has finally won grandmother's favor this time. Paylene turned her head, the reflection of the starry sky filling her eyes, her gaze softening completely. You're always full of sneaky ideas. I locked eyes with her, my own eyes reflecting her gentle face, and my heart began to thud wildly. Thinking back on our journey filled with bickering days, from being forced into a political marriage and throwing tantrums at each other, to learning how to cook together and dealing with the elders from both families. My original intent of getting a divorce after 3 years and escaping had long since quietly shifted its shape. Initially, I was just trying to help my grandfather vent his anger, but who would have known it'd lead to so many hilarious moments along the way. The two elders stood side by side chatting, the atmosphere cozy and sweet. The two of us walked side by side on the beach. I stopped my steps, looked at her seriously and said, "To be honest, after spending all this time together, I haven't wanted to get a divorce for a long time. At first I thought you were just a cold female CEO, but after staying together for so long, I realized you also have a gentle and caring side." The tips of Palin's ears turned slightly red. After a moment of silence, she spoke softly, "Me too. Originally, I only got married to follow the family's arrangements, but the daily routine of bickering and fooling around with you has brought a lot of warmth and life to the deserted Kyu terraces. I seized the moment and boldly took half a step forward. Then from now on, let's live our lives properly. No need to think about splitting up anymore. Let's accompany the elders from both sides together and make our days lively and joyful, okay?" The corners of her lips curved up as she nodded gently. The moonlight cascaded down upon the two of them. The previous barriers and misunderstandings all vanished into thin air. On the way back, the inside of the car was no longer filled with awkward silence. We chatted about the funny stories of the two old men and shared little everyday jokes, bursting with continuous laughter. Returning to Kyu Terraces, looking at this residence that I once endlessly complained about, I now only found it exceptionally heartwarming. In the days that followed, I learned to do things properly and slowly leveled up my skills, no longer constantly slacking off or playing tricks. Palin let down her sharp guard, and during her free time, she would watch TV with me or stroll through the markets. The past feud between the Shen and Pei families was completely turned over, and the two families often gathered together in perfect harmony. What was once an accidental political marriage, ultimately, through staying by each other's side day and night, grew into a love filled with pure joy. We joined hands side by side, heading toward the ordinary yet warm years ahead, turning this marriage that started out of helplessness into a beautiful romance that everyone envies. Thank you for being by my side all this time.